Hey, hello everybody. Welcome here to Christopher Dahl, Space Art by Christopher Dahl, Blackbird CD here. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Sorry if the thing is really loud. We're on YouTube today. Isn't that great, everyone? Hey, awesome. So yeah, we will have, this is the first time for this. Haven't done a YouTube live stream yet, so thank you for joining me tonight. Starting a little bit early. We're gonna have a good time. Typically what we do here, I kind of do a space painting Bob Ross style. I don't do it in about 20 minutes, which is usually what Bob Ross would do. He used to gun through those pretty quickly. Takes us a little bit longer, but we just hang out and talk a lot about sci-fi and space stuff, things that are pretty fun, geeky and nerdy, which has been a lot of fun for me because that's sort of where I live. So there we go. But anyway, welcome to my studio. This is, probably seen it in some of the videos. This is where I work on all the fun things. I've got a fun bookcase behind me with all of the really cool fun stuff. So, hey. And hello, Rhonda. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining me over here. This is awesome. Hey, very cool. Everything's a little different. I've had to switch things around to make this work on YouTube. So my entire software setup is... I'm kind of back to the old OBS, which is really interesting. We'll see how that goes. So I don't have all my little bells and whistles going, and as you can tell, the music is a little different. It's all royalty-free stuff today, so I kind of have no idea what's in the mix. We'll find out as we go. But welcome, and yeah, so a very, very different kind of experience today. I have a little monitor above my table. It's this iPad right here. And usually all I see is the chat. But with YouTube, it's giving me the whole feed. Of course, it's on like a weird delay because it's going to YouTube and broadcasting out and coming down my Wi-Fi onto this thing. So hopefully I'll be able to keep up and not be too freaked out. I'm not used to watching myself like right there in front of it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, hey. So, yeah. Quick tour. For those of you that have never seen this before, we have the official office here. This is a kind of our setup here in Pacific Northwest. I've taken it over. It used to be an office that my wife and I shared for both of our businesses, but since we had to move the rest of it into the rest of the house, I got shoved into the corner. No, it's all good. We made room for everything to work. But yeah, we're basically sitting at my workstation, and to my right, which you'll see here shortly, or yeah, is the art table. And hey, Iridium's here. How you doing, Iridium? Good to see you tonight. Thank you so much. Yeah, chat's weird. The chat's on a delay, so I'm hoping to keep up. We'll see how this goes. But I'm surrounded by stuff that isn't live, so we'll see. It's gonna be awkward. I'm not gonna lie. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to take it kind of slow. I've got a really cool canvas. It's a little larger than what we've normally worked on. We'll just work through it tonight. So thank you for joining me. Anyhow, let me just kind of give you the rest of it. So yeah, I've kind of got my large easel back behind me against the wall there. That's sort of, that's recurring projects as we need them. And right now it's got kind of an abstract fun thing on there. But greetings from Peru. Welcome. Nice to see you tonight. Thank you for joining. Excellent. Awesome. And I'll continue around over here. So this is kind of my drawing table in front of me, which we'll be seeing quite a lot. And I've got a cart that's like my paint palette with all my little tools. It's got drawers with all sorts of fun stuff. So we'll see how that goes. And then beyond it kind of get to the rest of the room. I've got my main printer over there that I use for all the prints that we send out here for anything that's purchased on the website. It's all printed here in shop and a little bit of artwork on the wall there. And then the rest of it's very, very messy. The workbench continues off in that direction, and that has my planet building and model building stuff, which has become a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more used lately. We've been having some fun projects. Yes, there's all sorts of fun things going on. It's been a busy time in the Christopher Dahl studio, the Space Art by Christopher Dahl studio, and you have found the live experience. This is really great. So thank you for joining. Thought I'd give you a quick tour. I actually have a really great tour of the studio that I shot for my Patreon followers last fall. And I think with their permission, I may flip it public so everybody could kind of come see it. That could be kind of fun too. Oh yeah, the iPad I was just telling you about it. Apparently, I can't turn the sound off, so I was just listening to myself on a delay. This is really great. But yeah, so let me know if music's too loud, not loud enough, if you can't hear me or any of that kind of thing. Let me know. I'll make adjustments as we go. Hey, Mom, how you doing tonight? Greetings. Glad you could find the stream. I hope that's working out a little bit better than Twitch was for you. That was very, very unusual, so my apologies. That was no fun. Yeah, so hey, what kinds of things do I do? So I am a science fiction and space artist, and a lot of my work has been seen on book covers, is the bulk of the kinds of things that I do. The Becky Chambers Wayfarer series, that's one that has hit the shelves and been very popular. She won a Hugo Award for the whole series, which is really great. That Hugo Award is hers. It does not represent my work at all. I'm happy to have just been along for the ride. So Becky, if you're watching, thank you very much. I so appreciate it. That was really cool. I've done a lot of book covers for a lot of independent art authors, and I've done many commissions, including the planets that I mentioned, but also other artwork. Here, there, and all over. And of course, all the paintings that you've been seeing from my Twitch live stream. Those are a lot of things that have come through here. I am working on my own IP. It's going as quickly as I can possibly pull it together. So I've been sharing details over on Patreon. If you're so inclined, you could follow me over there. Sorry about the rant last week. No, that's okay. I still don't understand why Twitch was being difficult for you, but you weren't the only one. There have been a lot of people I've talked to that have had difficulty with Twitch one way or the other, and that's a little frustrating. So hopefully we can get things going tonight. Yeah. So yeah, this is what we do. We get together every Wednesday, and I'm currently in the sort of the baking season, which is really weird to bring up with space art. But my other job, I work with my wife in a baking business. And since that is primarily a spring, summer, early fall business, we basically are cutting our time between space art and baking. So I used to also do a day stream. I'll probably return to that this fall when the time clears up, where we kind of do a little bit more talk about science fiction-y things, movies, and so forth. So I'm looking forward to bringing that in. And long format paintings. I did a few last fall and winter where there were, we did the Voyager and the Excelsior painting, which actually was a lot of fun. And it was nice to sort of slow things down instead of gunning through a painting in one night and kind of taking our time with it. So that's not what we're going to do tonight. We're going to gun through a painting tonight. It's going to be a good time. All right, let's get let's cue it up here. Wes Chilton is here. Hello, Wes. How you doing tonight? Welcome aboard. Glad you could make it along. Thank you. Fun to see some names here. Recognizable names. This is really great. So yeah. And of course, if you want to follow along, I go by Blackbird CD on Twitter, Blackbird CD on Instagram. Let me speak properly. I'm Space Art by Christopher Dahl over on Facebook. So if you want to catch more about what's going on, I usually post at all those places. I don't have my links popping up here, but you can find them in my profile someplace. And if you do enjoy this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, and you'll be notified when I come online here. This is part of an experiment. I've been on Twitch for 2 years now, and we are taking a look and seeing what happens over on YouTube. What's up? Hey, we're just going to have a good time tonight, Wes. Thank you. Oh, you read all the Becky Chambers book. That's awesome, Wes. Thank you so much. That's really cool. She really did a great job with that series. I am thrilled to be loosely associated with her. I really dig her. I really dig her style, and I like her stories. They're really fun. She's got a few others outside of the series too that are totally worth checking out. I think she's moving on to a completely different concept now. We'll see. But yeah. Oh yes, and we're continuing with the royalty-free music. Hopefully it's all still royalty-free. I'm pretty sure it is, but I will make notes in the comments below as we go. Anyhow, hey, let's take a look at the art table here, shall we? I'm going to move the old camera over while I do this. What you're seeing here is last week's work. I did a piece that was features my stellar explorer. And yes, that is a copyright infringement avoidance title. This is the strategies we work through here. But no, seriously, it is a... I've kind of got this story going about a large exploration craft that goes to other star systems. And it's featured in many of the paintings that I've done, a lot of them recently. So there's going to be more about that coming up. Anyhow, I did this one last week. This is a 10-inch by 20-inch canvas. I really like this size. It reminds me of the sort of 16 by 9 movie aspect ratio. It's not quite that, of course, but, you know, it's pretty close. Widescreen. I usually leave it on here. Oh, sorry. Here we go. I usually leave a painting on my table just because it's a lot easier to adjust things like focus parameters and stuff like that before I get rolling with the stream. And heads up, I'll probably have, it always sort of happens. I'm working with wet paint. You sometimes get a few glares on this, but I'll be working with acrylic tonight, so it's actually going to dry relatively quickly. So if you see a glare on there, just bear with it. It'll work itself out as we proceed. So yeah, great stuff, definitely. Oh, and celebratory drink of choice tonight. We have a little Woodford Reserve going on here. Yay, it's a good time. So pardon me. Little liquid courage. I don't encourage everybody just to start drinking along. It's mainly a paint along kind of show, but that's okay. I'm just doing it to get rolling. Oh no star flicking emoji. Oh yeah, Rhonda, so about that. I can have animated emojis in here. I know, I don't have any of my... I was going through all the list of things that I wanted to bring over from Twitch, and it wasn't until I got about a minute before launching this thing that I'm going, wait, I didn't add any of my emojis in here. So anyway, when we come back to Twitch, we'll have the star flicking emojis. And in the event that I switch over entirely, and I'm still not decided, I'm still on the fence about that, I'll be bringing all the bells and whistles from Twitch over. I've got all the animated emojis and Space Frog, of course. I will have all of those here as well. So for tonight, we're going with YouTube generic. So let's just we're gonna make that work. I just keep making adjustments to my camera. I'm a one-man show here. I'm sort of like the one-man party. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So got the we'll survive. Generic YouTube emoji tonight. Yes. All right. So our project tonight. Let's see. I've got a 16 by 20-inch wrapped canvas, and this is actually you could probably see a little faint indication. There actually was a previous painting on this one. Sometimes I will reuse my canvases, especially if I don't think that the painting I have was worthwhile. I was in Art Battle, Seattle Art Battle last year a couple of times, and I did a couple of practice paintings on the live stream. And this is one of the practice paintings, and honestly, it looked terrible. The premise of Art Battle is you have 20 minutes. You're going head-to-head against whatever it is. I think there's 6 or 8 painters, and you have 20 minutes to paint a painting, start to finish, and at the end they vote on it, and you may or may not win, so we'll see. Yikes. So yeah, I did a practice run, and it was just me flinging paint. It was really crazy. Oh, you found the magic wand. There we go. That'll work, Rhonda. Okay, keep that one handy just in case. When we get to the magic stars moment, we'll go for that. But yeah, so I took the painting, my test painting. Actually, the painting I did for Art Battle based on this actually did pretty well. I don't have it anymore. It's sold the night of Art Battle, which is really cool. So, yay. Awesome. So we're just going to paint over it. I gessoed it over. It's got some texture, maybe more than what you would normally get. And some of that's just the paint underneath it, and some of it's just the gesso on top. But that's okay. We're going to just, we're going to proceed anyway, right? Yeah, that's the way I see it. All right. So, it's actually a bigger canvas than what I've been doing recently. So, we may be here a while. I don't know. Possibly. We'll see. Sounds like a reality show. Yeah, it is like Wes, it's exactly like a reality show. I was kind of, I think it's actually going to get pretty big. They had to take a couple of years off for COVID, of course. But I was in twice, and I'm bummed. I'm going to miss the one. There's one coming up this August that is also going to be sci-fi themed. And they're really cool. They asked me if I wanted to participate. I'm not going to be around, so unfortunately I had to decline. But apparently, a photo of me with my space painting is going to be in their poster. So, yay! That's really cool. Yeah, I don't mind that. That'll work good. That'll work by me. Yeah. Alrighty. I'm kind of thinking of I wanted to keep this one kind of fast and loose as much as I possibly can. So for me, that comes down to kind of a fun generic nebula and space painting. And I just wanted to take a couple of marks on here to sort of see where I was going to go with this. So I think what we're going to have is kind of a whirling maelstrom in the Antares Nebula. Yes. With kind of a central star about there of some kind. And we'll do, space, nebula. And I think down here we'll have some kind of spacecraft that is sort of in the midst of all of this. And I'll kind of try to John Berkey this thing with a whole bunch of detail. And maybe we'll have, I don't know, do we want some planets in the midst of all of this? Maybe. I'm going to paint over all of this stuff. I just wanted to kind of see sort of how this is going to look. And this is very light. I'm just using a quick pencil. I think we're going to do something like this. And we'll call an audible on the planets in the background, right? With my voice, I could be the host. I agree. Thank you, Wes. I completely agree. I could have offered. Yikes. One of the first upgrades I got to the stream, Wes, was the microphone, just to sort of take advantage of that. As much as I like the headset one, but that's okay. All right. So I'm gonna take a little page from Bob Eggleton. So Bob, if you're watching, I'm gonna be completely plagiarizing you. I love his loose style. Well, looser recently. He's done some space science fiction book covers recently, and they're amazing. It's like, what would happen if William Turner, instead of doing, seascapes and landscapes of the 1800s in England, if he did space, I think he'd get Bob Eggleton, honestly. So we're gonna channel that as best we possibly can. It's not going to be an official one. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be a Chris Dahl space art. Yeah, proximity effect for the win. If I knock all of this off. And I've painted the microphone, just to be clear. It everything around me is covered in paint. Yikes! All right, and if you notice me going off target here with my camera and stuff, let me know. Sometimes I get lost in what I'm doing. All right, let me kick on the old palette cam. There we go. I've got my next to me. Let me come back up over here so you can see what I'm doing. So I basically have my drawing tables, what you're seeing. I've got a camera over that. And then off to the right is where my paints are. And yeah, we're going to, there it is. See if I can aim this bad boy back here. When I'm painting, I basically have a piece of hardened glass, tempered glass here that I use for my paint palette. And I really like using it because it's easy to clean, which is great. So you can reuse the thing a ton of times, and you can put different colored backgrounds beneath it. So if you're doing mixing for it and you're trying to catch colors based on what you're working on, it's really flexible. It's really great. Marcus, how you doing tonight, Marcus? Good to see you. Hello. Thank you for joining. And yes, thank you, all of you Twitch subscribers. We will be back on next week with our regular location, and this won't be the last YouTube live stream. I'm going to probably do one at the end of every month. So say the last weekend of the month. I think I'm going to keep trying this for a little while, and we're going to see how it goes, and we'll have fun with it from there. Hold on, liquid courage time. There we go. Woohoo! Couldn't resist. Okay. Alrighty. The paint we're using is Liquitex acrylic. I typically use professional grade paints, regardless of the brand. And I've used Liquitex for a while, so I'm perfectly happy. Golden is really great, by the way, too. So I like them both. There's actually a lot of branded acrylic paint that's good. I tend to stick with the professional grade. With the heavy body, you get some flexibility, which is really great. A lot of people sort of poo-poo it because they're like, well, that's what every school had. So if you studied art in high school or college, you probably had to use Liquitex paint. All right, guilty as charged. It's good paint. So there we go. So we kind of want to do, all right. I'm going to get a couple of things together. I'm going to start with, I'm going to start with a little phthalo blue. I want to get a mix of some, let's see. Can I see us up here? I hope I can get all of this on here or over here. Yeah, we'll do this over here. A little phthalo blue. And I do decant this a little bit as I go just because acrylic paint has a tendency to dry pretty fast. And there's nothing fun about that. So a little bit of magenta. Going to get a little bit of raw sienna for my yellow here. And I'm going to get a little bit of white out. The white out. Yeah, that's the... For those of us that worked with typewriters, we remember what whiteout is. Got a jar of my titanium white here that I'm working through. So let me get some of that out just to have on here for right now. Getting to the end. There we go. All right. Howdy, howdy. Cool. Get my yellow out of the way. I kind of want to, let's see. I do want the other blue. I want my ultramarine blue here just to have a little bit of a, I have plans for that one. So I want the background to be kind of a grayed out, darker purples and blues. And then we're going to get to this maelstrom, which is going to be in a little bit of a different shade. So I am also going to pull out, got a little cadmium orange. Whoop, wrong one. Little cadmium orange here on the side. We'll put this on this side of the white. I love cadmium orange. It's a paint color that basically resembles processed American cheese. It probably doesn't exist in nature that strong. That's a lie. Of course, it exists in nature. That's how they got the. That's how they got the color in the first place. Just processing some cadmium. Yes. And as always, my, what would you say? The toxicity. Paint's dangerous. Don't eat the paint. You get some great colors sometimes that have some pretty toxic materials. Don't eat it. There we go. That's my official word for those folks. Okay. I want to get a nice kind of deep purple. I'm going to need more of it than this, so I'm going to get a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to first mix up a couple of colors just to have them on hand here. And I want a little touch of my raw sienna just to kind of start to tone it down a bit. Have a little bit of white, but I need some more, so I'm going to grab that white. There we are. When I'm working on some backgrounds or kind of working on any painting, I will mix up kind of like my base color, if you will. So we will work through that. Hey, how you doing today? The art. Greetings. Welcome aboard. We're gonna have a good time here tonight. Oh, let's just mess with a little bit of my cadmium red medium here, just to really purple it out. The phthalo blue is always the kicker because it's so strong. Basically, you've now just, well, me. The minute you put phthalo blue in anything, you've pretty much phthaloed the whole effect. So there we go. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Okay, I like that color, but I want something a little bit more purple. So we're gonna go heavy on the magenta on this one. Maybe even heavier than that. I might just do a bunch. Pardon me. There we go. This is the part of the show where I just sit here mixing and mixing. Yeah, pretty typical. you got to make sure you got enough of your paint. You got to make sure you have enough of what you're trying to go for. In fact, yep, just because I'm getting overpowered. I know, it all looks really dark, though. Now that I'm seeing it on screen, yeah, I'll lighten it up. We'll try to get through this as quickly as we can. There we go. And, you know, most people will just, when they're painting a space background, they kind of just want to go very, you know, very black. And, you know, black paint's good for space. It is. I'm not going to, you know, of course it is. That's kind of what you'd expect. But, unfortunately, it doesn't make for a very dramatic scene. So there we go. Oh, let's get a little bit more of this in. I liked where that was going. There we are. I keep forgetting, too. I have a larger canvas, so you got to make sure you paint or mix enough paint to do the to do what you need. There we go. So I will actually probably use a little bit of black. Where did we find it here? Da, da, da. All the black, all the time. Where is it? I will add a little bit of black, but I'm not going to like go straight black. So a little bit of Mars black out here. I'll put that on the top there. We'll be coming for that later. All right. Here we go. So I got a nice kind of a light purple. This will be good. I've got a medium tone purple there, and then I've got kind of a bluish thing. Heck, let me just take a little bit of orange to that. If you really want to take a blue and gray it down, add some orange. I added a little yellow to do it, but wasn't quite there. I mean, yellow, my yellow in this case is raw sienna, so it's a little earthy. I'm gonna gray this down a little bit more than that. In fact, just a touch more. There we go. And the reason I do that is if you don't kind of like muddy up your colors a little bit, those end up being a little too bright. So there we go. Boom, boom. All right, let's separate these. I know I'm going super fast here on this, so my tabletop will end up being a little less enjoyable. I'm just going to put the paint straight on the canvas here, just because I know where I'm going to put it. So there we go. All right, move that out of the way. Find my wide brush. There we go. I've got kind of a. It's not a very wide brush. For this size canvas, I probably should be getting a much larger one, but this is going to work for me. So let's get a little bit of water on there. I'm going to start with some of my darker blue-gray. And I work from the back to the front on these paintings, meaning the background all the way forward. So, here I have a little bit of purple. Gonna be a little dark, but that's kind of okay. And I'm just going to go over my planet here. I'm undecided on the planet, so I'm not going to really even worry about it that much right now. But again, this is acrylic, so it's going to dry pretty fast, which is really great. We're going to get some of this, we're going to get kind of this gray, weird painting down, just because, I don't know, it's sort of just staring at white is a little intimidating, actually. So there we go. So I'm going to get a little bit of my lighter purple on here. And I'm just kind of going for fields of color. The ship is one that I'm going to probably do just as I go. So after we kind of get the background relatively established, then I'll start it on the ship. Because we're gonna kind of find that in the paint. That's what we're going to do. Oh, a little bit more water. I'll dry it out there. There we go. Boom. I do want some happy, fun colors here for the sort of our galactic whirlpool effect, if you will. There we are. So we'll work on that shortly. All right. Boom. But I hope you're all having a fun time. I really appreciate you joining me. This is great. I am super thrilled. And we're gonna have a little fun here on the YouTube side of things for a bit. There we go. And you like that? See, I just like kind of completely glossed over anything that I had for reference there. But I'm going to try to respect the relative geometry of this thing so that, you know, we kind of know where we're going with it. There we are. A little bit more down through there. All right. So it may not be terribly exciting to start, but we'll stick around. We're going to have some fun. Happy little spaceships, right? That's the goal. Yes, happy little spaceships. Okay, remember I mentioned some black, so I'm going to throw a little black in up here. Let that mix with the paint that's not entirely dry yet. We're going to get some of that. So the top corner there will be a little darker. Let that bleed on in. And while that's still wet, I'm going to add a little bit more of my purple just to get some fun effects. I don't want these to be just generic fields of color. I really want some things going on. There we go. Dark blue is legit. Ionized nitrogen. Exactly, right? Totally legit. We're the Antares Maelstrom, right? That's the trying to remember the entire con lines. This is where my this is where my old age kicks in. When I'm doing three things at once, I start forgetting all the basics of life, like Con's whole rant about following Jim Kirk. So yeah, I kind of feel bad about that. I should know that. I should legit know that. Okay, so we're gonna bring some of our blue in from here. There we go. Not terribly. There we go. Boom. Hey, Mark, how you doing today? Greetings. You're also painting a sci-fi scene. Well, we could be painting together. That's super awesome. Hey, welcome aboard. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna kill the palette cam so you can kind of see what I'm doing. There we go. Good to see you, Mike. Thanks for joining. Awesome. There we go. I know on my little camera I've got this microphone arm in the way. It's kind of annoying. All right. Whoa. I had a dark paint on there. Oops. First happy accident. Yeah. It's the tidy bowl maelstrom. Exactly. Wait a second. How did Con figure all that stuff out anyway? Right? Oh my gosh. All right. Oh, just trying to clean the old brush off here. Bear with me for a second, folks. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You get into the phthalo blues, and you've really bought yourself some work. Oop, there we go. Yeah. So if I tip it, you'll kind of see, without the effects of the glare, you kind of see where this is going. So yeah, there we are. Really clear this off. Okay. Where did my purple go? We're going to get a little bit more in there. Got a little bit more on the edge. My lighter purple, if you will. All right. And the reason I chose the purple is so when I completely going on it. Am I working at acrylic? Yes, Mike. Today we're working at acrylic. Yes. In some of my other streams I've done oils and casein, which is kind of one of my favorites to do. I think the next time I come on here to do a YouTube live stream, I'll probably come back to casein. It's similar to gouache, but I do like the expediency of acrylic for the live stream, even though it has its moments, right, when it doesn't really want to work as well as you want it to with oils. I actually haven't worked in oils in a while. That's frustrating actually to me. So yeah. But for a live demonstration, it actually works nicely. And I've done oils live. In fact, there's one on the wall here behind me that is finally dried to the point where I can do the giveaway. It was one on my 2-year giveaway live stream over on Twitch, and I can now do that. Last time you caught me live, I was working in casein. Yeah, the week before. And I think the one before that, I did some casein. I kind of like switching it up a little bit. It's kind of nice. I dig that part. There we go. Yeah, I wanted some little effects in there. All right. Now let's get a little. Let's amp up the color just a little bit here. All right. Now this is either going to be really heinous, or it's going to work out great, and everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh. So, if I were doing a poll, Right now, that would be my pole. Is this going to work? Or is this going to be just totally heinous? I think it's going to work. I need some. I need a good deep red. So I'm coming in with the some. What is this one? This one's medium, cadmium red medium, and I'm using it over the white areas just to maintain its color a little bit. And we're gonna be having fun with this, but I need the effect there. So there we go. He tasks me, yes, and I shall have him. I'll chase him round the moons of Nebula and around Antari's maelstrom and around perdition's flames before I give him up. Thank you, Brent. I feel better already. How could I mistake that? How could I forget that? Oh yeah, old guy, live stream. Yes. Oh, I need more paint than this. Come on, Chris. You're going to. I'm making the noob mistake of kind of not using enough. So yeah, we kind of want. There's going to be some reds and oranges in this one. All right, hang tight. Cadmium red light. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Where did it go? Where did I put it? Oh my gosh. It's cadmium red medium. Okay, now I'm just annoyed. Okay, that's the light. Wait. Did I really do that? There it is. I put the cart next to me to keep the paint in so I don't lose it. That gives you some idea. Yikes. All right. Here we go. We're gonna proceed here as if everything is normal, right? Yeah. Happy little stuff. There we go. All right. A lot of this is just to kind of get in the basic shapes, and we'll play from there, right? So there we go. Boom. The goal is to completely, maybe not completely, but mostly cover what we have. But yeah, this is yeah, see, this is where it gets frustrating. All those people that bounce between acrylics and oils, you know, you know the pain here, right? Right. All right. We're just going to throw a few more of those in. We're going to have this sort of fiery thing going on here. There we go. All right. Boom. I need sort of a... Let's get some of these in. Bum, ba-dum. And I'm just going to kind of dance this in so that we have some randomness to it. I love the fact that my old brush here seen me through thick and thin, through many live streams, and you can get a real nice effect with a dirty, nasty brush. So I have my dirty, nasty brush. I'm desperately going to try to not make this look like a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell, but if you get hungry, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so just go get something to eat. There we go. So far, this looks like a Hot Wheels track on acid. So maybe that's not the goal entirely. We'll find out. But anyway, we'll make that work. We'll make it go. We're gonna make it go. Yes. So far, I'm not in any danger, by the way, of copying or mimicking a Bob Eggleton painting because this looks nothing like his stuff. So there we go. Yikes. So Bob, the integrity of your paintings is intact. We're not even going to worry about that shit right now, right? Okay, very good. Right. We're doing happy little galaxies, right? That's the goal right now. Happy little crazy galaxy things. And yeah. Acrylic actually, when you put it on thick like I just did, it actually does have some fun properties that you can mess with. So it's important to sort of mess around with all of your paints in multiple ways. Yes. Hey, thank you, Wes. You know, I get to this stage of the painting, and you know, I sometimes I'm like, what have I done? Is it time to like save the painting? I don't know, but I appreciate it because you know we artists are perpetually, you know, self doubters, if you will. So yeah. You know, I did try to do the Cygnus X1 system that had it's well known. It was one of the first I think it is the first black hole officially detected, and it has kind of a whirlpool effect like this. And I painted it with similar colors, but because the way I painted it, it really did look like a Taco Bell offering, which was a little frustrating. Less galaxy, more Taco Bell. You know, that's not ultimately the goal. So, but I really like the idea of popping out these fun colors and a good Dutch angle. Right, there we go. the Batman angle. Tune in next week when we hopefully maybe Chris will actually save the painting. But yeah, this kind of combination of the purples or the blues with the bright oranges and reds, I've used this before a lot, and with good reason. It works, you know. It's a working thing. So let's grab a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There we go. I'm gonna do a little darker take on some of these now and see if I can kind of come in and get a few, kind of try to give this maelstrom some depth. Oh, that's actually really good. Let's get a little bit more of that. Okay, cool. I'm mixing some of my darker purple with the red just so I get a darker red, and it'll hopefully work nicely with what's going on. This arm of the whirlpool is kind of like right in front of us, so I'm paying attention to where I think the light sources will be. I think kind of going to be a light source in the middle, and all this crazy material. I'm not really sure if orange is a common nebula color. I mean, let's be clear, nebulas are sort of very hard to see, and the only reason we see them is because we have photographic equipment that takes photos of them. So yeah, you're on the ooh side of the pendulum, exactly. Hey, Rachel Kerr, how you doing today? Good to see ya. Welcome aboard. Nice to see everyone here. This is fun. We're gonna have a chill evening over on the YouTube. And I do want to thank everybody who has been supporting me since, you know, well, been generally supporting me. This has really been cool, and want to make sure that plays out well. So yes, more space painting. Of course, the Dutch angle's working well because this is sort of my right. I'm right-handed, and the way this is set up here, the angle's working well for me. We get into doing the space hardware, and I'll be doing a lot more. I'll be turning the canvas a bit more. Yeah. Yikes. But I wanted something. I like having, you know, a space background that isn't just the blackness of space. And I think this works out nicely. We'll get a few up there. So we can take some of that glare off. There we are. Yes. Susan, how you doing? Hey, thank you for finding me here. Awesome. Cad red and magenta. Oh yeah. Oh, it's magic, isn't it, Rachel? Oh my gosh. I hear you there. There we go. Got a little bit up in there. We want this to be We want complexity. We want... There we go. I'm fond of the messy brush. I'm just picking this up so I can see it. I've got some glare hitting me. But yeah. Oh, yeah. And this isn't even CAD red light. I actually have some of that, but we're just going to get a few hints of it out there into these areas. Because, of course, all this stuff is happening. All right. Crazy. Bum, 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 bum. I don't even know. I don't even know the music. So, that's already starting to set up. So there we go. All right. Good to know. All right. So I can have some fun playing around with that part. Great. God forbid actually clean this off. But anyhow, yes, we are nebuling. No, the nebula. How do we? Can we turn nebula into a verb? I don't think so. Yikes. Your attempts at munging the word are futile. There we go. Grab another one of these things here. All right. Let's see here. Taking stock in what we have here. I'm going to grab a little bit of this and kind of give this a little bit of... I'm going to tone some of this down. Some of these are a little... I think up here. Yeah, up here especially. I want to lose some... lose a little bit of... the brightness and the definition. There we go. Same up here. Just a slight... There we go. A little bit of that. Because there's going to be some more bright stuff happening on here. So, I don't want to go too crazy. There we go. Yeah. All right. And to be fair, this is intended to be kind of an abstract background. Nebulizing. Thank you. Yes. Nebulizing. That is that's the one right there. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. I'm taking just the tip of the brush here because it's kind of splayed a little bit. I'm going to see if I can't get in some finer detail in the middle part of this canvas. So this is close to star flicking, right, everyone? Yeah, there we go. And if you are just joining, the highlight of the night, of course, is to add all of the stars to the mix. So yes, we'll definitely be doing that. Yes. But in the meantime, let's get some fun things going on here. Really splay this thing out. There we go. There we are. Yeah, it was really funny. For those keeping score, I usually use Streamlabs OBS over on Twitch. And I was all set to get that going here tonight. And it was like, well, nope, takes 24 hours for that connection to go through. I'm like, huh. Well, I guess I didn't look at that too closely. So now I'm just on regular flavored OBS, which is fine. Just some of my little bits aren't there anymore, which is very unfortunate. There we go. Alrighty. A few of these in here. And in theory, I should probably get a few more details down here, but this is all going to kind of be covered up, so I don't really want to go that far. There we are. Little bits of orange out in there. There we are. A little bit out over there. What I really need to do is start focusing on what's going on in the center of this thing. So let's get just a little bit more in there. A little bit more on this edge. My inspiration for this shape was less of an actual depiction of a whirling black hole as we would now know it, and more of a pretend like it's a galaxy, but do it in weird colors. So yeah, we're gonna go a little different, and we're gonna give it a pretty crazy star. So let me grab my I'm going to mix up another color. Let me pop that back up here. Well, while this is kind of setting up, I kind of like what's going on so far. I think we've got a good. Let me pull my face. Oh, I can't turn my face off. Camera off. There we go. So I like what's happening so far, and we're gonna see how that goes. I think it's working out pretty good. Some fun things happening. Hey, Cern, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me over here. Very cool. All right, I would like to drop in. Where's my phthalo? There we go. A little touch of phthalo. There we go. And a little bit more phthalo. Thank you. There we are. I want a nice light blue. That's a light blue. That'll work. Right? There we go. Okay. All right. Let's come back here. I'm now going to need a round brush. Got the round brush. And fuego. Exactly, right? So you're saying you cannot stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Actually, you can. But to do that, you kind of need a third-party service. And that was my thing last week. I was going to do it. I was actually going to stream both last week. But time got away from me, so there we go. So yeah, that's what happened. All right, I want a nice center bit here. That's kind of going to come out there. All right. So in theory, you can. I forget what the name of it was. There's actually a service that will do it. But I also wasn't signed up for that. So there we are. We're just gonna make it work from here then. There we go. Brush this out a little bit. I know it's a very weird color in the middle here. This is the one that I was a little concerned about. I don't know if this is really going to work or not. But because in theory, if you were to see this this color here, it would probably be casting this colored light on everything instead of the weird yellow-orange that we have. But we're going to make it work. And I'm just using a generic brush here to kind of get a little bit of a blend going between here. So I wanted to develop a little gradient through the middle, and I want to do it with this kind of cyan, this electric cyan color. So that's going to be my goal for this one. So yeah, I was hoping I could use Streamlabs, but apparently I have to wait for that to kind of to process. So there we go. Had everything else set up, just not that part. I do a sideways one like that. Whoop, wrong way. There we go. It's not doing anything I want. But we're going to make it work. These are all happy accidents. So I kind of wanted a star pattern somewhat. It's going to just go muddy if I'm not careful, just like it did. There we go. Boom. There we are. Oh, yeah. This will work. Cleaning all the rest of the paint off my brush. I may have to come back to this to finish it properly, but I wanted to at least get that part in there. There we go. Yeah. A little bit more white. This is kind of going to be like the big hero star, if you will, of the whole thing. There we go. Other than clicking the like button, is there anything else we can do? Subscribe. I appreciate it, Sarn. I'm not monetized on YouTube yet, which is a little unfortunate. So thank you. I appreciate the effort. But just hang out and have a good time. Yeah. I think streaming in both would make it hard to keep up with the chat. I agree. The one service that I was forget what it's called. Again, brain damage, forgive me. It does give you kind of a client that lets you deal with chat from both. I've seen people do it, but I've also seen people really struggle with it too. So I think it might have been just fine that I didn't quite pull the trigger on that one. I think I just lost our music. Yeah, I did. There we go. I'm going to fire it back up again. Alrighty. Let's see. We have been on for 1 hour. Nice. We've been on for 1 hour. How very cool. But I am noticing a couple of things. This current setup, having dropped Streamlabs to do this, I know it's technical details for people that may not be interested. Having dropped Streamlabs to make this work tonight, straight up OBS uses like half the system resources that Streamlabs uses. So there's a benefit there. Kind of nice, huh? Yeah. We'll make that go. Alrighty. That's going to be a good start for this whole... Okay, we're an hour in, and he's only saying it's just a start. I've seen people stream in Twitch and YouTube. I have no idea if I want to learn, though. Oh, okay. The coolest thing you could do, if you want to do any streaming at all, is get this get OBS is what they call it, just the straight OBS, and it actually works out really well. That was how I started out, and it took me maybe a day of tweaking things just to kind of get it ready to go, because you want to set up like, okay, I want my art stream, I want my desktop, I want my talkie stream, I want a be right back one. Little things like that. So you want to set those up, and with all your cameras and everything. It works out pretty good. Oh, you've seen Aaron Blaze do it, but he has someone else watching the chats. I will say this. My wife Stephanie offered to moderate the chats tonight, which is really cool. She hasn't sat around with us too much. Usually she's working on other things, which is we split tasks, of course. So that was really cool. If you can get somebody to moderate the chats for you, that's great. But, full disclosure, I haven't been overly compelled to have extra moderators, which is great. And by the way, I know many of you have volunteered, so thank you. When it gets to the point where I want to get some chat moderation going, I know who to reach out to. So that's really cool. Thank you. Alrighty, I'm feeling like I like this star here, but I think it's going to need a little bit of this blue in a lot of other places to make this work. Otherwise, it won't feel real. So we're just going to do this a little bit. We're gonna, and honestly, I do agree with you, Rhonda. I wasn't feeling it when I considered that maybe there's a chance I would have to do both chats, Twitch and YouTube. That would be a little awkward. So I wasn't entirely game for that. Yikes. Oh boy. I hope I didn't just show my key. No, I did not. Okay, very good. Very cool. Bum, ba, bum, bum. Let's get a little bit of blue into a few of these areas here to make it feel, this is like a Seurat effect, if you will. Adds color and complexity to the whole mix, or it just makes it look like there's holes in space. I'm not sure which exactly, but we'll make it go. And I haven't even gotten to anything like the spaceship or anything yet. So yeah, how do you like that? Very cool. Maybe some of these aren't necessary. I don't know. But I like the idea of reinforcing this this color here, just to sort of make the orange and the blue play together. Even if it's not reality, it's a nice color scheme, and it's making my eyes very happy to see it. Oh, God, now I'm going to sound like Bob Ross. Jeez, tell him to stop. Oh, my God. But I have, over the years, collected a lot of the royalty-free tracks, the ones that would sound most like, a space painting, if you will, which of course is what we have here now. So yeah, the space paintingest, free to use music, if you will. Yeah, I'm kind of digging this. I'm digging this. We're gonna make this work. Okay, Bob. I'm gonna channel you. So there we go, and we're gonna make this whole thing work great. We're gonna bring this one home, and people are gonna be like, "Wow, that was really amazing," right? Oh, of course. Yikes. What streaming service was easier to set up, Twitch or YouTube? Honestly, both of them were relatively simple. YouTube seems to have a slight leg up in that department because all they really had to do was sort of set my, set what my channel was and do the login. The hardest part, honestly, is just kind of setting things up in general. So setting up your scenes and cameras and everything. Directing OBS to which streaming service to use, it wasn't really that much of an issue. At least not to me, anyway. It seemed to be pretty straightforward. So yeah, that never bothered me quite as much. Like, in fact, today when I went to set Streamlabs, it's like the other OBS, if you will, the Streamlabs that stole OBS and just gave it to themselves. That one apparently required like 24 hours for the accounts to connect, and I hadn't anticipated that, so there was a little bit of delay there. Okay, cool. Space music for space painting. Yeah, exactly, right? Pretty fun. Glad you could all be here. We're gonna keep working this. I've actually grabbed some of the purple that I'd had before, and I've got this little round brush, so I'm kind of trying to get the streakies in on this stuff. So yeah, we kind of had this weird. Yeah, it does. Okay, it is looking like a Taco Bell product. Forgive me. We'll call it the Taco Bell Nebula. But I also like giving it kind of a dreamlike state with some of these clouds down here in the bottom. This is where the happy accidents part comes in, because if you remember, I just sort of threw these elements in here, the darker ones. And I am going to turn it over just to see how I like it from this side. Yeah, we're liking it. It's happening. I'm going to try to call out some of these highlights up here. There we go. See, this is what'll happen with me. I get lost on these kind of fun background things, and I could probably just paint space all day. I lose track of like the technical side when I do like space hardware and spaceships. They're fundamentally different parts of your brain to sort those out. So it's pretty funny what'll happen in the midst of working on them. It's like, wow, I'm just kind of into this phase to pull these things together. Also, you don't hear any music. Oh, okay. It's probably not up that high. There we are. Thank you. You're not hearing any background music? Okay, cool. No, I really turned it down, and I think it's because when I first was doing my sound test, that's all I could hear was the music, and it was like, oh, okay, that was bad. Don't do that to people. There we go. All right. Is that better? Can you kind of hear it? I really didn't want it to be too obvious. I just wanted it to be in the background. So we can do this. There we go. All right. Cool. Let's see. Camera off. There we are. So yeah, that's the upside down version. But we will restore it to its original glory, if you will. There we go. Yeah. In the interest of keeping it fun and interesting, I think I got to decide. I have to make some hard choices here. Do I go adding the spaceship, a spacecraft, some kind of space explorer? And I think I would have to do it here. I had it originally down at the bottom. So I don't think I could do that, though. I think it's got to be somewhere else. Okay. It's nice to see you playing with color and clouds. You usually see my tech painting of ships. Yeah, I like to do both. I kind of I mean it's fun to dive into some of the other places, but you're right. A lot of times I will just focus sort of on the technical side. It just kind of depends on my mood more than anything else. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of both of those. But again, you do have to kind of work fairly quickly with the acrylics. Because right now, like, half of this is dry already. I mean, I could just basically touch it, and it's not... it's like nothing. It's nothing at all. Okay. I see a little edge here that I want to get. I wanted some... Oh, it was the wrong purple, Chris. Oh, my gosh. He done went and screwed it up. I actually saw some edges of the painting, or the canvas underneath. That was what I was trying to say. Yes, and I wasn't so fond of that. So there we go. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you. I hope you're all enjoying this. Alrighty. There we go. I have to take a quick... Sorry to do this, folks. I know this is really terrible. I have to take a quick 2-minute break. Stick around. I will be right back. And we will... Nope, nothing? Okay. All right. It was pretty quiet music. I'll be right back, so hang tight, everyone. There we go. Hang tight. I'm back. Here we are. Alrighty, thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking around. Hey, Ginger's here. How you doing? Welcome aboard. Did not expect me to still be on. I know, it could have been terrifying, right? Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And hey, welcome aboard on the YouTube side of my live stream. So thank you for joining me tonight. Having a good time so far. We've got a nice background started here, and yeah, I usually run for a couple hours. Rhonda, yeah, you got it. Yeah, usually it runs a couple hours. Usually takes 2.5 hours is about average. Tonight I'm kind of just gonna let it roll, and we're gonna see what we can put on. I think this is gonna definitely need some kind of a ship involved with this whole crazy thing. So there we go. Alrighty. So yeah, got this mostly set up to a point where we can kind of use it. I'm digging the... I didn't like get in and blend like the cloud structures here. I mean, you could spend a lot of time, giving some nice little filigreed clouds. You know, if I really wanted to come in here, I could like do some nice little feathering and you know, kind of really pull those out. And that's nice too. But sometimes I just kind of go for it. So yeah. I'm do a little touch. Maybe I'll add a couple of highlights to these just to keep it kind of fun. Especially these closer ones. We're kind of like in this close part of the like this is like closer to the subject, the ship, if you will, or whoever, the viewer. So let's just see if we can't do a little bit of finessing just to make this stuff pop a little bit. And then all the rest of them can kind of just be, you know, the core colors there. I like doing this with a little round brush. It's tiny details. It's probably hard to see on the screen, but yeah, we'll just we'll give it a little depth. Don't mind me just forgetting how time works. Yes, Jinja. Oh, yes, glad you're here. Everyone, congratulate Jinja. I'm going to pull together your painting to send to you shortly, so I need to reach out and get your mailing address. You're about to receive the gift you've been waiting for since like March 10th. The oil painting that's finally to a point where I can get it varnished. That thing took forever to dry. Oh my gosh. It's the one on the wall behind me over here. Let me pull this on up. Boom. That one like right there. So it was pretty, that one was done in oils and it was pretty thick in some places. It took forever to dry. Oh my gosh. I mean, I really wanted it to dry enough to the point where I could varnish the thing, and I might have been able to, but I kind of felt like I don't want to cause problems by varnishing too soon. You know, that's just bad. Time is an illusion. Yes, that's a Douglas Adams bit. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so. Yes. This is important. Important enough. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of hang out here tonight. I appreciate you joining me. We're gonna do some really do some real live space painting. Do not accept any cheap substitutes. You got to go for the real stuff here. So choose your space painters wisely. No. Nope. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, lunchtime doubly so. That may be one of my favorite bits. Send me yes, thank you, Jinja. Send me a Discord message. That'd be great. We'll work out the deets. Oh my gosh. I'm in other news, I think I mentioned this on my live stream. I have landed a beautiful and lovely commission, if you will. All the good quotes tonight, right, Wes? You gotta know where to come for this show. I'm gonna be doing a series of planets for a museum in Georgia, and I'm working with the museum and their engineering firm. They're gonna be outdoor exhibits on kiosks, and that's pretty exciting. It represents probably the single largest commission I have ever done. And yeah, I was intimidated, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to be doing some. I actually bought a new airbrush. I haven't bought a new airbrush in probably 12 years. I've worked with this great Iwata airbrush, and thank you, Tom Grossman at Tag Team Hobbies, because Tom knows his stuff with Iwata airbrushes. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of planets. I'm hoping I can start sharing some pictures of them soon. It's kind of project in works, if you will. So I don't know kind of what they want to do to keep it under wraps, but it's a good time. Tim McCaffrey, how you doing? Had to search for this because I noticed you weren't on Twitch. Oh, sorry, Tim. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I had it posted in my Discord, but I didn't post anything on Twitch. I didn't know what to do with the Twitch folks. Sorry about that. Thank you for finding me. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry if I left anybody in the lurch over there because that's just not fun. Yo, you're doing cool. All right, let's see here. We want. I think it's time for a little spaceship action. Yeah, the I was thrilled. They searched me out because I've painted planets in the past, and it's not easy to do. Painting a planet onto a round surface is a little tricky. Now that's an understatement. It's a lot tricky, and I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I'm working up another color for my ship. I'm doing a gray right here in the middle. I'm going to need some more white. Anyway, so painting in the round required a lot of preparation. And I can see, there we go, transparent mixing white. Trying to find my white. So I think when they finally said they're going to do this kiosk project and they were looking for ways to have somebody, you know, paint these planets for them, there aren't many people that do it really. So anyhow, it was fun. I'm very happy that I was able to step up and do that. It's going to be cool. And I'm hoping to get down there too. I'm hoping once the exhibit launches, I'm hoping I can get down and maybe shoot some video from there. I think that would be really cool. All right. I think I got some good stuff going. Okay. Here we go. Spaceship of sorts. We're going to do some kind of an exploration ship down in the bottom of our painting here. I'm going to move some things out of the way. What do I want to do with this? We'll do that for right now. There we go. Okay. Let's grab some of our gray here. All right, there we go. Got some gray. There we are. Yes. And I'm just going to kind of... are they large? Oh, they're actually only 6 inches across. Each planet is only about, you know, a 6-inch hemisphere. But they're basically have to do... They're doing all planets of the solar system, all 8 planets, plus Pluto, the Sun, and the asteroid Ceres. So there's 11 planets total, front and back. And so they're hemispheres. I have to paint them in hemispheres, which is really great. And then they want an extra set in case they have to replace them for whatever reason, damage over time. So basically, I'm doing 2 sets for them, which will be good. Do you have to make another set of planets? I am finishing a set right now for a wonderful commission, but I don't have another set coming up anytime soon. I did have some people ask me about it, though, which was very interesting. But I don't think they like my price. Okay, so I'm going to use this like a giant marker, and I'm going to put some kind of an exploration ship in right here. So we're just going to get, and yes, I'm smearing paint. Is all I'm basically doing. I just want I kind of do the same basic shape on ships, and I forgive me, it's kind of cliche. I realize, but we're going to just do it anyway. They always end up with kind of these tall towers. And, yeah, there we go. It kind of the fast forward section, very, very kind of Star Wars-y, Dark Star, if you will. But we're just going to do a few fun things. And we'll give it a few extra bits. And anything I do here is going to be happy accidents, and I'm doing it in this gray so that I can work with it. There we go. Alrighty. So the planets aren't overly huge. No, they're actually, but they're big enough to the point where I have to be like super accurate with the surface detail. As close as I can possibly get to the real deal. So that was a challenge. They want perfect art commission for bargain price. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, if the problem with my planets is that when you look at them, you would think that there's something you could buy in a store relatively inexpensively. I mean, they look great, don't get me wrong, but you think, depictions of planets, and if you start looking around, there kind of aren't too many that do that. The MOVA globes, MOVA, do some really cool little planets. and they kind of rotate inside of their shell. But those are pretty expensive. I mean, they're like $150 a piece or something. The Griffith Observatory has a huge planets display. Oh, that I've never been to Griffith, Wes. I would love to go to Griffith. Oh my gosh, it's such a cool. That place looks amazing. I've decided the next time I get down to Southern California, I am totally going to the Griffith Observatory. I did get a chance to go. Wait, New York. That's Hayden Planet. I did get a chance to go to the Hayden Planetarium in New York City this last September when I dropped off my daughter Allison there. And they also have like this huge display of planets inside. And I'm like, I would love to make those. So good. They surely must be mass produced, right? Exactly. I know some folks are here. Hang tight. Let me grab the one that I do have. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's dusty. I almost shouldn't be touching this because I've got paint in my hands. I got to watch this. Oh my gosh. It's spectacular. I'll take it. Thank you. I would be up for that trip. I would totally be down for that. All right. So here is my Saturn that I did. This is my prototype Saturn, and it's 2 hemispheres. Unfortunately, the hemispheres are almost perfectly round, which is kind of a no-no. Saturn is actually squashed, but this is the best you could do. But I worked with my pal Joe, who goes by Faust. He laser cut the rings, and basically I have a nice setup where I can airbrush them in the round, which is really great. So Saturn here, this is a 4.5-inch hemisphere collection nested between the rings themselves. But yeah, it's a good time. I enjoyed making it. That was kind of my obsession for a while, was how to make Saturn. I'm gonna put this back up. Hang tight. No. And that kind of started off the whole thing. But of course, once you do Saturn, I had someone ask me to do the rest of the solar system. So yeah, kind of worked out a nice little bunch of scales that worked out pretty good there. So yeah, and then I got into the planet making business, and I'm so bummed that somebody has already taken magrathea.com, because if I were to get into the business of making planets, that would be the best name for a website. But it didn't happen. I was so annoyed. How could they do that? Like, or even Slarty Bartfast. I mean, as you can imagine, those were probably taken early in the age of the internet. Oh my gosh. And for those of you that don't know, that we're all quoting Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy here, where basically the idea is they make planets at a place called Magrathea. They're the planet builders. It's pretty funny. I'm so thrilled too. I have an uncle of mine. My uncle Greg is always been a huge fan of British comedy. He's my pal that we go to the movies with on, usually a Sunday night event. We'll see all kind of like whatever the fun attraction was that week. But he was my introduction to all things British comedy when I was growing up. And I found out this week that he's reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for the first time ever. I was thrilled. I'm like, okay, you're going to be in for a ride. 42, exactly. Oh my gosh. I mean, usually, he was a Monty Python fan more than anything else, and that was all great. In fact, I know Douglas Adams knew the Python people pretty well, so they were pals. So that worked out pretty good. All right, I'm trying to get some highlights on the ship, and none of this paint is working in my favor, of course, but that's okay. We'll just make it do its thing. Trying to take my painted shape. I did the grays. I'm going to try to sort of build out some shapes here so we can finish the rest of the ship. And we're just going to see what we can come up with. We're going to carve the shape, if you will, as we go. Oh, I better put it up here so you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. I do that all the time. I start working on something and I pull it close to me so I can see what I'm working on, and that just makes it worse. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I was like, hey, you're gonna be having a good time with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't even think he's seen the BBC show from the early 80s, which is sacrilege. Oh my gosh, how could you not have seen that? Yeah. So I'm gonna put some fun shapes in here. This is a large ship. We'll get some room in here for some nice windows and lighting. But I need to get some shapes to it. We need some good John Berkey shapes going into this spaceship, right? So yeah. The only thing that went through the mind of the bowl of petunias was, oh no, not again. Exactly. I absolutely love that book and show. I think I was obsessed even in high school, right, Brent? I mean, that's about when I discovered that. You can blame Denise on that one because she's like, have you seen this show, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? No. Where is it? Oh, it was on a local PBS station that I can't get at my house? Okay, I'll come over there and watch that. It's her fault. So, D, if you're watching, I'm blaming you. I would never have known it if it didn't show me that damn thing. Now I would have found it. I totally would have found that show, no question. I'm due for a reread. Yes, exactly. Oh, the BBC radio episodes. You know, it's funny. You mentioned that, Rachel. I love the BBC radio productions. I didn't even realize that it was a BBC radio play before it was a book and before it was of a TV show. I was operating all those years under the false assumption that it was a book first. It was totally not a book first. I had no idea. So, yeah. Okay. I'm just kind of... Oh, I got some water on the brush here. There we go. I'm just going to try to get some nice highlights in here just so we can kind of... I'm getting an idea of the shapes, which is really nice. There we go. We need some... I'm going to need a big highlight here, but unfortunately, it's the paint's not set up yet, so it's taking the whites and doing some weird stuff to it. Yeah. Yeah. All of my all of my acrylic paint, it gets to a stage where it doesn't want to do anything. But we're gonna hint at some detail, and we're gonna get this in here. Oh, you had no idea either, Rachel. Yeah, it was weird. I had a friend of mine who had all the BBC audio bits. We went on a road trip together. Oh, it was a while ago. And I was like, kind of like, yeah, I didn't realize, when did they make the radio program? He's like, well, they made it first. I'm like, oh, get out. No. So we had like a mini geek argument on the road. It was, it's like, I clearly did not know what I was talking about. It was pretty funny, but that's okay. The more you know. Exactly. I'll try to wash the old brush out here. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It's like, oh, when nerds argue, it's hilarious. I mean, you got to watch it, but that's okay. So I grabbed my raw sienna, which is kind of an earth toned, yellow. I want to get some warmth into this thing, and I'm just trying to sort of describe the basic shapes of this vehicle before I get into detail. Otherwise, I'll be lost. I'll be filling it in with all sorts of crazy detail, and I won't really know what's happening. But by bringing the warmth in, it'll kind of help pull this thing together. Yeah, that's how it starts. See, Brent, it's always the girlfriend, right? Bad influence. Yeah. For some reason, she could... What was it? It was like Channel 56, which was out of like Detroit, but closer to Windsor. Like, for whatever reason, her house with a TV antenna, she could pick that channel up. And I struggled for years trying to get that station. And I just lived down the street from her, for God's sakes. Like, oh my God. So, it was funny. The drama that these kids today, they don't remember the days when we had to, like, turn a TV antenna to get our shows. Yeah. Boomer art, right? Yikes. Alrighty. This is kind of my attempt at sort of a Seurat effect. You know, you're going to get a little bit of blue. You're going to get a little bit of your orange in there. We're going to have this fun ship. Now it's kind of starting to remind me of the Mon Calamari vessel from Return of the Jedi. One of the Ralph McQuarrie paintings kind of had this tone. There we go. Bad influence? Not if she's doing it right. Oh, no, she was a bad influence. No, kidding. She was a good influence. She was cool. Still is. All right. I'm going to get a little bit of a darker color here. I'm going to see if I can't start carving out some nice dark details in here. Not black yet. We're not going to go straight to black. That's barely dark. I'm going to make this work, though. This is actually going to be helpful. So I'm going to get a little bit of a this darker gray here. We're going to get it into all the areas that need it, right? Yeah, there we are. Very cool. Uh-oh, message retracted. Sorry. Yeah, aluminum foil on rabbit ears. Did it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, usually you have like the whole house antenna, right? You know, it was like the whole backyard thing. But sometimes, just depending on weather conditions, and maybe you were in a valley where someone else wasn't, anything could cause the issue. So sometimes you could get a station, sometimes you couldn't. It drove me nuts when it was like my favorite episode of Star Trek was playing on Channel 50 out of Detroit, and we were up near Flint, so you know, some days you could get it and some days you couldn't. But I remember more than once trying to watch my favorite episode of Star Trek because it only aired once every 3 or 4 months. And of course, the TV reception was terrible, so I'd be watching this like crazy static going, no, that's not what I wanted to do. It's so frustrating. Yikes. You could get it too? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hey, Cameron, how you doing here? What ship am I working on? Well, I'm kind of making this one up as I go, Cameron. I have to admit, this one's kind of a... I'm happy accidenting my way through this production. So, and not in a bad way, right? This is kind of my... We're just kind of carving out some shapes to work with this nice nebula thing I've got going on here. But yeah, so we're going to figure it out. I guess it's kind of a almost Berkey-ish one. We're getting some good colors and things here. Or better yet, yelling at a family member to stand next to the TV and touch it again. Stay there for 3 hours. Yeah. There was a lot of that. You remember having to stand by the antenna because the reception was better? Yeah, it never failed, right? There was always like some little stupid trick that was absolutely required or else it wouldn't work properly. And that's frustrating. Oh, those kinds of things would drive me nuts. I would get so mad. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. You were usually that family member. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So now I'm using a little bit of black, so I want to call out some of these shapes in a darker way, because this will make our ship stand out better. There we go. Yeah. No, don't sit down. Don't touch the thing. Right. Totally. There we go. Yeah. I kind of feel like I need a smaller brush to do this next part, but we're just going to keep adding details. We're just going to keep adding some more. But yeah, the spaceship here that we're seeing, this is all being just kind of made up on the fly. So we're discovering it. We're discovering it together. Oh, that's another Bob Rossism, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. How does it look? Kind of like this. There we go. Yeah. It's sort of a very sleek thing. Let's see. I want this to go. Yeah, that's it. Boom. All right. We're going in now, folks. I need some details. There we are. And we'll give it a few here. I'm going to give it a break there, a break right there. And then this beast up there. Yeah, sweet nostalgia, right? It was totally cool. All right. Need some little... You can't have the light without the dark, right? So we are going to do a few fun bits in there. There we go. There we are. I think we have kind of a fun ship going on. Yeah. Okay. I need a smaller brush. There's my smaller brush. Oop, and some more magenta. I'm going to get a little bit of magenta paint out. I know, my palette is like becoming unmanageable. Yikes. Just to give you an idea, that's pretty much what it looks like right now. It's all over the place. I just added some magenta up here because I wanted a little bit of light, I wanted a light magenta for a couple of elements here. So let's just see what we come up with. There we go. All right. Boom. Looks great. Thank you. I appreciate it. So what I want to do is get in here. Whoa. I need this to be a little bit. There we go. Ah. Too wet. I wanted something less wet. There we go. I need some. Same down here. I wanted a couple of hints of this color. Yep. And a few up here. And I don't know why. I just wanted some red. I wanted to do some of these in this magenta instead of just like straight white. We'll do some white too, but I've got a nice thin. I should bring the camera down closer because I'm going to be getting in some kind of small details here. So maybe I'll do that in a second. But I wanted to get a few dots and dashes of this magenta in first. Because I think it's important to represent the colors you want in your painting. And this will work well with the thing. There we go. A couple in there too. Okay. Just a little touch. All right. Let me see if I can bring this down here. There we go. All right. Got a little close-up action there. There we go. Boom. Let's just see if I can't grab some of that. I'm grabbing a little bit of white, but I'm also bluing it down. Adding a little touch of blue is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. He blew it. Yike. All right. I want to see if I can carve in some details here. What happened? I just tell you. Oh my gosh. Really frustrating. Okay, I had all this paint on my brush and none of it came off, so I'm just going to have to see if I can't do this a little differently then. All right. Now it's just making me mad. Yikes. I really feel like in some cases my paint is getting it's very frustrating. When it doesn't work the way you want it to. All right. Well, we're gonna make it do its thing. Let's try this. When acrylic starts to really set up, you lose some of the like if it sets up on the palette, I'm saying it loses some of its viscosity. It just becomes this kind of thick, gross garbage. And unfortunately, it's I might have to get some new white. It's not doing what I want it to do. It is definitely not at all. Okay, hang on here. Okay. Trying this one more time. Uh-oh. Hey, I'm sorry, Rachel. I don't know what it's retracting your message from. So my apologies. The moderator controls on this are different. So I don't know what it could possibly be. My apologies, Rachel. Oh, there we go. That's better. I just needed to mix it properly. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be a nice straight line. There we go. Missed the paint? Yeah, that's what I just did. Thank you. Yeah, I misted it, and for some reason it wasn't getting mixed with the water at all. So I just did that with a palette knife off camera. I should have shown that too. It would have been nice. But I wanted this nice, kind of straight line thing going because I want there to be some fun detail on this surface. There we go. But yeah, I'm trying to miss it. Oh, I see. You removed the. I gotcha. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was that or if it was just like, I have weird moderation things. I did set a few that will work for us, but anyway. They also sometimes discriminate badly. All right. I want to get hints of panel lines and fun things like this. There we are. There we go. Now it's rocking. Titanium white globs up easily. Yeah, that's exactly what it was too. It wasn't playing nice. It wasn't playing by the book. So I had to give my paint a good talking to, Yeah, especially if it's like sat out on the palette for a little bit. It doesn't take long before it starts becoming an issue. But I wanted it to be almost like a thin, opaque white ink so I can come in and do all of these little bits. So yeah, it required it required some persistence. There we go. I just like, this is the part I kind of like, is sort of detailing out these ships when you already have some, when you already have a few things already laid in. You get some real fun, happy things going. So yeah. Okay. We're gonna get a little bit more white over there on that. There we go. We're gonna get a little bit on the edge on the front there. There we go. Kind of the backlight of the nebula hitting it. There we go. A little bit like that. All right. This is the important part, is getting these like little details highlighted out here as part of this whole thing. And then I'll come back and work in some color from the nebula front. Oh, that reminds me. While I'm here, let's get a little bit more white into our main kind of star formation there. There we go. Yeah, that'll be good. Take that, you star formation. I don't even know what you are. But I'm about to the point where I need to stop with just the straight white for a moment and go for whoa, no, he didn't just do that. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Okay. In fact, I even have my specific mister right here. I just haven't used it. There we go. There we are. Got it on all of them. You use a wet palette? Oh, I love a wet palette. Those are really cool. Yeah, I like those a lot, Rhonda. I really do. I have one, but I think I need to refresh it a little bit. It has a tendency. They have a tendency to dry out, right? So if you're not careful, you're not keeping up with it. All right. This isn't quite white. It's still going to be pretty bright. This is actually kind of my light blue There we go. So I'm going to continue getting a few details in the darker areas. There we go. Just to call this stuff out. Yeah, I like using a wet palette too. For those of you that don't know, a wet palette is basically a container with a sponge, and you put your palette paper on top of it, and it keeps all your paints wet. You can literally close it up, and you could come back and reuse acrylic paint for up to a week, I think, or longer. I really like them, but especially if you mix up some colors that you know you're going to use repeatedly. It's really nice because you can kind of keep it going for a while. The same way you would with, like, say, an oil paint. Oil paint you can just leave on as long as you don't add liquid to it, you can leave oil paint on your palette for days. It's kind of nice. I know eventually it kind of ends up being difficult, but nothing like acrylic. So, yeah. There we are. Just getting some fun details in here. Bum ba dum bum bum ba ba dum bum. And then we'll end up with we'll get some windows in. That'll be fun. Right. You can make your own with any lidded container. Oh, I know. You totally can. And that was I got one as a gift one year, one from kind of an art supply store, and I really dig it. It's really cool. Yeah, you can literally make them with just any closed container. So yeah, good times. Get a few more things. See, I always add these little antenna structures onto my ships. I just kind of dig that. It's sort of my fallback to the Nostromo era of spacecraft. Because the Nostromo had all sorts of stuff sticking off it. So did the Sulaco, going back to the Alien movies. I just kind of dig that. And it's very, it's kind of very John Burke-y too. So yeah, happy times. Alrighty. There we go. Now, let me get a little bit. Let me see if I can get some of this going. There we go. A little bit of. Since we have so much orange on here, we're going to have to get a little bit onto the surface of the ship itself. So I'm going to get a little bit in these areas where there's kind of highlights, especially on the underside. I'm going to get a little bit of orange in there, up in there, just to kind of, not a lot, just a little bit. Because you'd always have, some effects of the light source the ship is facing. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot, but you'd want a little bit. Very Dykstra. Thank you. Dykstra, the man, the the legend. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's got kind of that Dykstra nose, doesn't it? Seriously. I'm a product of all the shows that we grew up with and loved, and all the movies. It's just you can't get away with it. Get away from it. And these are the things that excited me. This was my, space shows of all kinds. It's very important. Ooh, that's working out well in there. Okay, yeah, we're just going to see if we can't create sort of a sense of scale. I think that's somebody's documentary about movie makers, and there we go. Yeah, we'll just do that. Going to give it some fun. I actually regret having this one behind there. Oh, I can get rid of that. Ooh, that would be very cool. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Yes. Ooh. I can do that. I can I can brush this guy out because that's my background color. There we go. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that. That was distracting. That orange blotch that I put out there way at the beginning, little distracting. We're just going to remove it. We're just going to make it there. There we go. Maybe I made that worse. Chris, you made it worse. Stop doing it. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Same page. Yeah, Wes, I know. We're both a product of that same era and generation. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Kidding. All right. Good times. There we go. Yeah, it's all the fun stuff. There were some serious talent. And yeah, so we take a moment and pay our respects to the great Greg Jane, who unfortunately passed away I think a few weeks ago, but the news is just getting out. Greg Jane was a model maker and was in like almost just about worked on just about almost every like famous genre sci-fi Star Trek movie that you ever could possibly imagine. So yeah, I'm bummed because he's someone I kind of wish I could have met, but he was extraordinarily shy. He never really did the convention appearances. I heard that from some people that knew him. And I think he'd been dealing with some health issues for a while. So, unfortunately, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, sorry, Wes. Yeah, just this week he passed away. I think he passed away a few weeks ago. And I caught it. I think Rick Sternbach's post on Facebook. He mentioned it. And he'd been ill for a while, so to a certain degree, there's not a lot of people that knew him are kind of like, yeah, which is unfortunate. He's definitely one of those people that I would have loved to have had a chance to kind of meet in person and, just kind of say, hey, cool. Thank you. That kind of thing. But wasn't really meant to be, unfortunately. But a lot of them, oh, hold on. Needed a brighter white, or brighter red. A lot of the models that were in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, in particular, he worked on, including like long shots of the roads and the kind of city shots that were in the mountains and off to the distance. It were actually models that he built. There's some really really cool shots of those, but yeah, he was a big time model maker. I mean, when Star Trek Deep Space Nine decided they were going to go do an older, take on an older Star Trek episode, The Trouble with Tribbles, they basically didn't have an Enterprise model they could shoot with. I mean, they couldn't do the special effects. They weren't fully doing 3D CGI at the time. They wanted a model, and they hit Greg Jane up, and I think he knocked one out within like 2 weeks. It's actually smaller than the one they used in the old show, but it was actually in the Science Fiction Museum here in Seattle for a while, the Paul Allen one for a while, and it's impressive. It was so inaccurate. No, it was really cool. But yeah, he just like he worked on so many of the studio models for that show. It was pretty cool. All right, I'm adding some bright red elements to this, some little dotted bits for the windows and things. We'll be doing some different window colors, but I always like adding little bits of red. I it's a very weird thing, but I kind of do this whole Surratt effect just to pull this all together. But yeah, sorry to have been the bearer of bad news, Wes. My apologies. Let's see here. Okay. We need this to not blob up so much. There we go. Anyhow. So yes. Yeah, he was really amazing. And not just the fact that he was so good at it, he was also fast at it. It was crazy fast. So we're going to get some windows in here. Anyway. So there you go. Lesson is, if you have a chance, you know, if the people you idolize, contact them when you can. It's important. Yeah, there we go. Got some little fun windows in here, right? We're going to get some windows in the ships. We're going to do a few extra bits there, too. I mean, I don't want to get too crazy with these. I do want to indicate how big the ship really is. And this is kind of a fun way to do it, just with little bits here and there. Yeah, I regret not being able to meet John Berkey before he passed away, but I was in no position at the time to really seek him out. And I would like to have chatted him up quite a bit, actually. I have actually met a few artists. I mean, going to Wonderfest was great. I actually met a number of people that worked on stuff. That's where I met Rick Sternbach and John Eves and Andrew Probert. All of them are really fascinating to watch. Except for John Eves. Oh my gosh, he's such a pain. No, I'm just kidding. John, if you're watching, love you, man. This is great. I'm not on social media anymore. Oh, that's cool. Good for you, Wes. Honestly, it's a nightmare. It hasn't gotten any better. I'm compelled to stay on social media because, you know, I have to, like, it's not that I want to see the slow destruction of the world in real time, but you know, I gotta show people my space art. Oh my gosh, too funny. Anyhow, I'm getting a little blops where I need them here, here, there. Where else do I need them? Okay, there we go. How we looking here? We kind of got a, well, gol darn, we got ourselves a space painting. And it's got ourselves a spaceship. Sorry, folks, couldn't resist. All right, let's get a few hero stars in here, shall we? Yeah, we're gonna get a few of those. I like to paint in. I like to paint in a few of the larger stars just to have some that are, you know, kind of offsetting all the smaller ones. So let's get a few in here. There we go. Need some blue ones. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yo. Alrighty. Trying to clean the old brush off there. I'm having a fun time. I'm having a blast with this one today. I'm just going to say it. It's fun. Although it's been a while since I've done the larger painting. It's pretty interesting. This has been the so yeah, that was one of the things I was nervous about. Is, oh my god, I haven't really, like, done a big painting in a while. Aw, thank you, Wes. I appreciate it. I'm glad you were able to hang out. This has been a lot of fun. I mean, you know, I used to do a lot more of, like, you know, the CG 3D stuff, and there's something kind of fun about kind of forgetting all that and just going for it with a fun painting. It's cathartic. It's that's the word to use. And you get something fun to see on the wall at the end of the day, right? So I get a good chance with it. The joy shows. Thank you. I have been having a good time. All right, folks. For those of you who have watched the shows, and I'm so sorry, I don't have my emoji. I don't have my star flicking emoji, but I think it's time for us to get some stars on this painting. Don't you? Anybody? Yeah, we're gonna do some stars. I've got my fan brush, my trusty old fan brush here. All right, let me see if I can get some. Take care, Brad. Have a good night, and thank you for joining us here. I really appreciate it. Cathartic watching while I work on my renders. Yeah, exactly. We're here for that. Yeah. I I'm shopping for a new workstation, so I can kind of get my hand back in there a little bit. All right, we're gonna start with some blue stars. Okay, so I'm getting my blue paint here, a little bit more water. There we go. All right, there we are. All righty. Hey, Rhonda's got it with the wand. That's right. There we go. Alrighty, folks. Coming right up here, shall we? Okay, let's see. I'm going to put them up at the top here first. Let's start up in this section. All right, folks, here we go. We're going to throw... Oh, he threw... That was a lot. That was a lot of stars. And they were very wet, so they kind of went... They didn't get round stars. Ah! We'll get a few of those in. There we go. We're going to get some in the bottom over here. These are blue. I'm going to come in with some other colors, so we'll be okay. Uh-oh. There was a little bit of water on there. There we go. And then I'm going to very carefully come over here by the spaceship. All right. These are kind of going to be the sort of backgroundy stars. I'm going to wash the brush off. Get some of that off of there. And I'm going to go more for like a white, happy little starfield. Hey, Brad, how you doing tonight? Good to see you, Brad. Awesome. Yes, happy little starfields. This is the... Yes, happy little trees in the corners. It's kind of the fun part. That was good, Rhonda. You found a good one. You really did. Thank you. That's my promise. I'll work on getting my Twitch emojis over, especially if I do the official switch. All right, we're going to do a little lighter ones. Let's see. I think... Oh, man, not enough water. Sorry. Paint was still like... Sorry about that, folks. Paint was still a little on the wet side. There we go. All right, trying this again. Okay, trying this one more time. Here we go. There we are. I saw more that way. There we go. I have to be careful. I don't want to give too many, but I do want to have them. So we're going to get a few out here in front of the Antares Maelstrom and see if we can't star the place up. There we go. All right, get a few on here. Now, obviously, I could, like, have a little bit more control over this, take my time, but that's no fun. We just got to get some stars on it. There we go. Get a few over here. All righty. It's the magic, folks. It's the magic moment. And it helps having kind of a good spot up here for it. There we go. And yeah, I probably got some on the ship, but that's okay. We're just going to make it work. Oh, that one needs to go. There we go. I'm going to take care of that. All right. A little bit more up there. Okay. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to move the camera back. Hang tight. Let's see if I can move this on up. We got a nice wide shot. Oops, sorry. There we go. You take your stars seriously. Yes, thank you. We do too. There we go. Let me get a signature on the old bottom of this painting here. Alrighty. Up. Oh, my paint's drying up. Ah. Never fails. Interesting. I never ended up using my ultramarine blue, but anyway, let's get a little signature down here. Properly. You remember your name, right, Chris? There we go. There we are. Awesome. I take my splash zone very seriously. Yeah, me too. Thank you. There we are. So this is kind of an interesting, strange scene. There is without the out the glare on it. A little spacecraft zooming through some kind of weird spacey background. Yeah, but hey, can't walk away, Mike. You never know what's going to happen. Something's going to come back up. Yeah. There we go. Fun times. I'm kind of digging this one. It's not really a color combination I would have done much, but I'm digging it. I am almost wishing I did kind of a swoosh on the ship. kind of an engine swoosh, but I like it as it is right there. So I think I'm going to leave that part alone. Hey, Ian, how you doing? Thank you. Yeah, good times. I think that one's I'm just gonna boom. I'm kind of well, let me get it out over here so I can pull it up this way. There we go. All right, there we are. So yeah, how's that one look? How's that one looking? There we go. Pull this back over. There we are. Kind of sounds like Interstellar now, doesn't it? There we are. I can't do this because I'm like facing it wrong, but yeah. There we go. Very bright, very orange. Fun times. I actually like working the size because I can do some fun stuff on the backgrounds and do some detail on the ships as I go. So that works out. It's nicer to work a little larger sometimes. Oh my gosh. My first live stream YouTube space painting. There we go. Yow. Very fun. Awesome. Well, for those of you that are following me on Discord, thank you. Let me know what you thought of it for the night here. And in fact, let me link to it. Okay, hang tight. I'm gonna for those of you that are here, I'll drop a link in the chat here. Where is my official? Oh, I can't actually do that. Yeah, go figure. Yeah. Very Broncos. You're right, Mike. It is very Broncos. I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Ba-dum-bum-bum. I know where I can get it from. All right, there we go. Streamlabs. I'll go from there. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Football colors, right? Oh my gosh. Maybe that's why it. Maybe that was why it was resonating so well. Although I don't watch any of it, so. But I do recognize the team colors. Yikes. Timers. There we go. Okay, Discord. Edit. There it is. All right. Boom. I'm going to drop the... if you want to follow along, this doesn't require you to go on live on social media, so that's pretty cool. Here's my Discord. You're welcome to join. Boom. There we go. That show up? There we are. Yeah. So if you want to join up on the conversation, drop in over there. You're welcome to. We do keep. It hasn't been too active lately, just because I've been heads down between graduations and family visiting and all the projects that are kind of catching up to me right now, and I have a lot of them. Holy smokes! Yeah, between the planets. I'm doing some box art for a model kit company. Yay! And at least 2 more book covers, with 1 in the fall. It's gotten pretty busy, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and that's thanks to people like you. Thank you for following along here and joining me on these Bob Ross of space art evenings. Yikes. All right, so next week we'll be back on Twitch at our regular time, Wednesday night. Same place, Twitch. It may be earlier. I'll check. Anyway, I'll post on Discord and on social media. The 5 o'clock worked well here for me, and I may be doing a few more a little earlier in the day like this. And so thank you for joining. I really appreciate you sticking around. I'm going to go ahead and call it for the night. Thank you so much. And hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody that joined me here on YouTube that hasn't had a chance to see me on Twitch yet. I really appreciate it. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to make the official switch. A lot of that will depend on kind of how things go. But yeah, thank you. And we'll be back on next week. The nice thing is this is going to stay right here on YouTube. So if you want to catch it again, you're welcome to do so. All right, everyone. Take care. Everybody stay safe. And I will catch you next time. Peace, everyone. Good night, Moon. Yes.